as every opening day is. The weather cooperated, the festivities were great. But after that, not so good for the O's, as the Jays pounded hit after hit, took the big lead and held on. The eternal beauty of baseball. You come right back and play the next day. On Madison, and game 2 of this homestand will take place tonight. Another big crowd on hand as the Jays have opened up 3-1. The Orioles 2-2 coming into game 2 of this 3-game set. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne. Welcome. After things settle down a little bit after opening day yesterday, the Orioles will try and get it back together. Jimenez will be on the mound. Obviously, the Orioles organization and all of you who are fans waiting to see what he is going to look like this season on the mound. The Orioles open up against the East. This is a chance for them to make some early hay against division opponents. Last year, those division games mattered a whole lot on their way to the division championship. Take a look at the numbers that they had against the American League East. They went 47-29, American League's best mark against the division. The batting average was 7th, home runs 1st, runs per game was tied for 5th, and the ERA was the best against their own division. Now, you start this season against your division, you really do want to get off a good start because you got 19 straight in the division. After that, 13 in May, 12 in June, only 6 in July. Then it tapers off. 26 games against the division from August 31st on. So they're loaded with a division beginning and end, Jim, and those are W's you want.
Well, you really do. And, I think Toronto's playing 19 of their first 21. Joe Madden, before he went to the Cubs when he was with Tampa Bay, and of course, they were in 5 of the last 6 postseason, used to say, you can't afford to have a bad April. So obviously, I think that still holds true. The one number I saw on that was that they scored a little over 4 runs a game. They gave up right around 3 runs a game. We always talk about run differential. Last year, the Orioles were able to do that. So we're going to see, again, to do that, you have to hit, but you really have to pitch. Yesterday, 8 singles, 8 doubles, 12 runs. The Blue Jays sent a message.
And Jim, Ubaldo Jimenez is going to be on the mound. Obviously a story with a big question mark as to what it's going to look like this season. What do you think?
Well, there's 50 million reasons why he's going to get an opportunity to prove that last year was a fluke. 6 and 9. The one number that jumps out is the walks. Last year, his walks went up to over 5 per 9 innings. I mean, the runner and scoring position numbers were very good. The batting average was, really kind of what he's always done. But the bottom line was he was wild. They did not score him runs, and it's almost like I think he was pitching away from contact with his sinker, and this is what he did in spring. He made a couple of adjustments with the windup, much more aggressive, and tonight he's going to have to do it against a very good hitting ball club. But again, the stuff is there, not the velocity, but the location and the movement, especially the last 4 games of spring training.
Well, the Orioles certainly are hoping, because of spring training, he gets his shot tonight as the number 5 starter in the rotation. Jays and Orioles when we come back to Camden Yards. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Coons.com. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. Well, for the Orioles and every other team, you try and stay away from that DL list. The Orioles, Wesley Wright, bothered by that pitching shoulder, a pinched nerve apparently, has gone on the DL, 15-day DL. The Orioles, who used a lot of pitchers last night, obviously need somebody else in that bullpen. So Eddie Gamboa, who has not pitched in the majors before, being recalled from Norfolk, probably only for this game tonight. We'll see. You see the numbers: 31 innings with Bowie, 77 2/3 with Norfolk last year. The minor league numbers combined, the 5.7 record, 3.81 ERA. He will be available for the Orioles in the bullpen tonight. Buck Showalter and Dan Duquette making that decision just prior to the ball game tonight, as they were going to need some help. A trapezius muscle problem, a strain, left trapezius, is the reason that Wesley Wright's gone on the DL. He complained of it after the ball game last night. It had bothered him a bit during spring training. All right, let's take a look at the starting lineup, as the Jays will have Reyes, Pompey, and Bautista, Encarnacion, Donaldson, and Martin, Smoke, Pilar, and Travis. Yesterday, big day for Bautista, broke out of an 0-for with that 3-for-3.
And to Baldo Jimenez, this will be our keys to the game right there. You can see the fastballs right there, 59%. The big question, will he throw at first strike? He's got 4 pitches, splitter. He can use it a lot more effectively early on if he's able to get the fastball command, something he's certainly aware of, something he worked on. So that's last year. Again, a lot of the numbers not that bad. The one that jumps out is the 77 base on balls. It put him in a lot of bad positions. And then the other thing, they did not score a lot of runs when he started.
So he's ready to go. It's a big game for him. I mean, maybe only one, but points to be proven. And he will start it with a strike against Reyes. Reyes, a 3-game hit streak coming in. You see the 6 for 17. He's had good numbers against Jimenez. Lays down the bunt. Jimenez gets the play and the out.
Take a look again last year. Of course, you know, $50 million over 4 years. You're going to get an opportunity. The runner in scoring position numbers very low. Run support very low. That's not what you want. But look at the 5.53 strikeouts, almost 1 an inning. So again, struggled early. They didn't get him a lot of runs. Started out, and I think a lot of times it's hard to get those losses off your record or out of your mind. Pitched better towards the end of the season.
Here's Dalton Pompey, and he tries to push a bunt. So the first 2 batters for the Jays showing bunt. Reyes actually got his down. John Gibbons with a big smile on his face over there, which probably means, what are you doing?
Yeah, well, you put 12 runs and 16 hits, 8 doubles, 8 singles. You want them to bunt. They weren't bunting yesterday, I'll tell you that.
That'll bring Manny Machado in. Jimenez delivery to him will be up high. Jimenez, the 0-4 record in April last year. He had an ERA of over 6.5. The problem, as Jim said, the walks. 17 walks, 27 1/3 innings for the first month of last season. The big improvement the Orioles saw in spring training. And how much do you count spring training? He issued just 3 walks over the last 23 innings in Florida.
Well, not over his head. Ramon Martinez came along with Dave Wallace, you just seen. They're trying to just smooth out the windup, and let's be honest, he's not going to be where he was when he was Colorado, where he's throwing 96 to 98. But he does have movement, so the radar gun doesn't tell you the whole story. And he can. First thing he said last year in spring training, the reason I went 4-0 with a 1-point ERA the last month of 2013, fastball command. Trying to get back there.
Pompey will take the pitch down low. So Pompey works it off the fastball to a 3-ball, 2-strike count. The left-handers 244 off Jimenez last year. The right-handers 238. Not much difference. He gave up 14 home runs, 9 to lefties. Pompey will reach for that one. Foul it back and out of play and hold the count at 3-2. Pompey, their starting center fielder, one of the youngsters on this young ball club. Pompey with as you saw, a couple for 14, does have 2 RBIs. He struck out only once, and he has drawn a couple of walks. Toronto Jays so far have outscored opponents 27-13 with their 3-1 record. So they're up there with a lot of runs a ball game. And a swing and a miss. That's the one he wants location-wise.
Well, there's the splitter, and you talk about almost 9 strikeouts per 9 innings. This is how you get them. Bottom drops out. Really good pitch. Stayed behind it. Look at him split his fingers. That's why they call it the splitter. Ball tumbles out, has that overspin. You think you read fastball, and then you get the late action.
So 2 down, nobody on, and here's Bautista. He has really struggled against Jimenez. Only 2 hits and 26 at bats against the Orioles starter. Bautista came out of the ball game last night, had a little cramping in the calf area. Thought it was because he was dehydrated. Said after the game he's fine, and here he is back in the lineup. Did he go? Nope. Mike Everett down at first base, helping out the crew chief, Tim Welke, who is behind the plate for this game.
Yeah, that certainly was a strike. He missed that pitch.
1-1 delivery. That will be a strike. Keeping him down low, and the count will go to 1-2.
Yeah, well, you live around the knees, you're going to get a lot of ground balls. So Jose Bautista said, you go 0 for 12 every once in a while, but I don't strike out 8 times usually. Struggled till yesterday, as you mentioned.
Delivery. That'll miss a little bit outside. Count goes 2-2.
Yeah,
Stay up and watch that Red Sox game last night?
You talking to me?
Yeah. Did you?
Did any of the Yankee fans or Red Sox?
Every single pitch. To the
19 innings?
3 scotches, a couple glasses of wine, every pitch. 2-2 delivery on the way, and a ground ball that'll go to short. Bobbled a bit over to first. Nice stretch by Davis. Cabrera records the out. So a 1-2-3 inning. We'll take a look at the Orioles lineup. Ubaldo Jimenez, good first inning. Degrees, start of the ball game, clear skies. Let's take a look at the starting lineup brought to you by Southwest. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Diaz, Pearson, Davis, Jones, Snyder, and Machado, Schoop, Cabrera, and Joseph. Yesterday, Adam Jones matching a career high 4 for 4.
And here's our pitch arsenal for Aaron Sanchez. Fastball, breaking ball, which can be a curveball, occasional slider, something he worked on in spring training. That's what you can see there at the bottom. And then the changeup, great numbers last year. He was used out of the bullpen. So again, this year maybe a little bit different. Throws really hard. And when you talk to everybody, the key, we hear it all the time, fastball command. Can he move it in and out?
This is his first major league start. Came up from Double-A, worked out of the bullpen in 24 games last year. Alejandro Diaz back in the leadoff spot. Diaz has got a 3-game hit streak, making the start in left field. He gets that one near the wall in right field. How high? Hey, goodbye home run! How about that? Right over the scoreboard, had just enough on it. Alejandro Diaz yanks one, and the Orioles have a 1-0 lead.
Somewhat auspicious start for your first major league start. First pitch out of the zone, the second one gets zoned. and he just rips it out of here. Second home run of the year for Diaz. Big home run on opening day against Chris Archer.
And 3 RBIs. So the Orioles are on top.
If you want to know if lefties like the ball down and in, well, there you go. Drop the bat head. And one little swing into the flag court.
That's going to be fouled off by Steve Pearce.
And on his birthday, 31 today. Happy birthday.
And it comes against a ground ball pitcher, a pronounced ground ball pitcher in his minor league games. So Diaz gets the homer and the Orioles get the lead. 1-1 delivery on the way. The off speed pitch in there to Pearce. Steve with the red hot start down in Tampa, as did Diaz in that leadoff spot. Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way, and a swing and a miss and a breaking ball away.
Yeah, one of those conventional guys coming up through the minor leagues out of Barstow, California. Fastball, curveball, and you learn the changeup as you come through the minors. Here's the hook. Starts on the plate and it just zooms out of the strike zone, and Steve Pearce with 2 strikes had to chase it.
For Sanchez, he had the highest ground ball fly ball ratio, the best in the Eastern League last year. That one is deep. That is way back. And Davis has got it. Goodbye home run. Chris Davis, he has faced Sanchez twice and both times has delivered a homer.
I thought that ball was going into the second deck. He hit it so well.
So Davis back with the ball club and back hitting home runs, his first of the year.
Well, it's like a nightmare for the Jays. 13th home run since 2012. Well, you got to be young and inexperienced, or you got to have a lot of guts to pitch him out over the plate.
Well, for Sanchez, he's thrown only 7 pitches and he's given up 2 home runs. Here's Jones, takes it away.
Well, take a look. They're on the outside corner. He misses 94 in the middle of the plate, then the big fly. It's just a matter of when it's going to come down.
23 innings out of the bullpen last year for Sanchez. He only gave up 1 home run. That was to Chris Davis. And here, his first inning, he's given up 2. And Adam Jones will take the pitch. Adam with a 4-hit ball game yesterday, 14th time in his career that he's had a 4-hit game. Did it last time against Tampa Bay. And on opening day to have 4 hits, Adam joined only 2 other Orioles to do that. Don Baylor had a 4-hit home opener in '73, and Gary Renicky had a 4-hit home game opener back in '82. Adam Jones, 3-ball, 2-strike count.
Take a look at the defense. Pilar, Pompey, Bautista, Donaldson, Reyes, Travis, and then Smoke, and then Russell Martin. One of the newly acquired Blue Jays, veteran catcher, coming off a monster year with the Pirates.
3-2 is outside, so the walk surrendered. And Adam Jones is on. Maryland lottery contestant, get to the edge of your seat. Already 2 home runs. And Tracy Steelman, that's you from Easton, Maryland lottery contestant of the game. You got 500 being selected. You've already collected another $1,000 on the 2 home runs that have been hit here in the first inning, and you get 500 more for every Orioles home run hit. Play baseball, Bucks scratch offs win up to $50,000, or enter your non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Go to mdlottery.com/baseball. Tracy, it's your game. Pitch will be in the dirt. Nice stop made by Martin with Snyder at the plate.
Well, I always thought, and we saw the reverse of it yesterday, when you pitch at home, you want to make a statement, and Jimenez made a statement. A nice little 1-2-3 yesterday. Bud Norris wasn't able to do it. When the Orioles came up, they were already trailing by 4 runs. So you want to make your guys think they have a chance to win. They can go up, relax, and that's what they've been doing here in the first.
Snyder's the DH in the ball game already here in the first week. Martin's going to go out now. We've seen Buck Showalter doing what he probably will be doing most of the season, and that's a lot of platooning with players coming in and out. Buck's got the situation of left and right and short, maybe a little bit at second, first as well. But there'll be a lot of players coming and going, and all Oriole fans know he likes to do that. He wants to keep everybody fresh, and it'll depend on matchups.
And then when Nick Markakis off to Atlanta, you knew he was going to play every night. Hit righty and lefty. So now you might have to platoon a little bit.
Jones, good lead at first base. Pitch taken for a strike. Orioles are the only team in the majors who have not attempted a stolen base yet this year. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Snyder to be followed by Manny Machado. Adam Jones on at first, being held by Smoke. Pitch on the way. Jones not going. That'll be fouled into the screen. Sanchez last year 4 out of 5 stolen bases against him. And there weren't a lot of chances. The numbers at the major league level, obviously, it's only 23 innings pitched, so hard to judge.
Yeah, all spring until Marcus Stroman, who was going to be one of their starters in his second year, outstanding stuff, hurt his knee. They thought Sanchez may be in the bullpen.
Ground ball high. Hopper goes to first. Smoke one. Relay pitcher covers and can't hang on. Would have had a double play, I think, had been able to hang on to the ball, so the Orioles would get a break there and a fielder's choice.
Yeah, they get the ground ball that Sanchez, after giving up the 2 home runs, is looking for, and then Smoke, very good fielder, and then he doesn't field his position. Over there with plenty of time. You can see the snap throw by Jose Reyes, and high enough to catch. They got there in plenty of time. You work on it all spring, but in real time, a little more difficult to be able to execute.
So now there are 2 down, and here is Manny Machado. Good speed at first base in Snyder. Manny's looking for a base hit. An 0 for 12 going for Manny Machado. The throw over, recognizing the speed of Snyder by Sanchez.
Yeah, but he didn't recognize the lead.
No.
It was a small one.
I'm surprised Snyder dove back in.
Well, you always say
fallen.
It's a 2.5 step lead. Some guys get about a 2-step lead. And if they dive back 3 steps, it'll be in foul territory.
That one, an inside-out swing off the fist, will go to Travis. Play made to record the out, but great first inning for the Orioles. So the Orioles are going to get a couple of runs on 2 hits. De Aza leading it off, his second home run of the season. Chris Davis following it up with his first, and the Orioles get the first inning lead. Spot for all the action with an Orioles full or partial season plan. Members enjoy exclusive ticket savings, Major League Baseball's most flexible exchange policy, access to postseason tickets, and orange carpet benefits. So don't miss out. Go to Orioles.com/tickets or 888-848-BIRD. So the Orioles give the lead with the De Aza and Davis home runs for Jimenez, who goes to work here in the second inning, and a breaking ball in. Encarnacion, the designated hitter, leading it off here in the second inning.
Yeah,
Encarnacion 6 for 23 off Jimenez with a home run.
The only guy that didn't get a hit. Sacrifice fly yesterday.
That'll go towards the hole. Cabrera with the arm.
Got a nice one. Got there very easily. They play him to pull, even though he can hit the ball, at least power-wise, all over the ballpark. And then nice little pitch. So Ubaldo Jimenez, the little slider, out to get it, around it, didn't stay inside it, and then the accurate throw from the hole.
Well, they record the first out, and here's Donaldson. Donaldson had a 2 for 3 in the ball game yesterday. 1 down, nobody on. He'll go after the first pitch, pump it up to right field. It'll be curving back towards Steve Pearce. Steve's getting activity all over the place already with the outfield play and right field. Designated hitter, play at first base before Chris Davis came back, and then the first game Chris was back. So not unexpected for Steve Pearce. 2 down, bases are empty. Martin did not play in the ball game last night. Russell Martin, big addition to the Toronto attack and behind the plate. He is 9 for 31 against Jimenez lifetime, off to just a 1 for 11 start. Baldo looking for another clean inning here. Pitch will be inside for a ball.
Well, a lot of movement on that 90-mile-per-hour fastball. I mean, that ball ran about 6 inches. What we know about Russell Martin from his time with the Yankees.
That'll be inside.
Yeah, when he didn't play when the Pirates played the Orioles. They had a doubleheader here because of a rain out, and then went up to Pittsburgh. He had the hamstring problems last year, but really had an outstanding year for him.
2-0 delivery will be fouled off. Getting around on that one on top of it, Martin. And a 2-ball, 1-strike count. He's an outstanding catcher, throwing out 39% of base stealers last year. Pitchers like throwing to him, if you hear what they say, and he's got the big bat, so it's a big addition.
Well, he had a lot of home runs when he was with the Yankees last year. High average, on base over 40% of the time, that's a lot. Good take right there.
Keeping the ball down. Jimenez here on the strikes and on the 1 misses, and that's all right. That's where they want him to be.
Well, yesterday they were talking about the Jays very aggressive. They've got a lot of pitches to hit. So you like that because you want to be around the plate right there. And there's again just a nice sinking fastball. And then Russell Martin says, I'm not swinging at this one in a hitter's count. This was a pitcher's pitch.
3-ball, 2-strike count with 2 down. And the full count delivery to him. A strike on the outside corner. Jimenez retires the first 6 that he faces and picks up a couple of strikeouts. The Orioles bottom third. Schoop, Cabrera, Joseph when we come back. Partner. For locations, visit whywaitinther.com. Home runs. Most home runs versus any opponent since 2012. Updated.
There you go. And Chris Davis has 13 of them.
So the Orioles putting the big hurt on. 42% of Oriole runs early on this season have come via the home run. Orioles, of course, led the majors in homers and in percentage of runs scored off home runs last season. Here's Jonathan Schoop, and he'll take the pitch inside for a ball. Schoop had one of those long balls. Picked it up in the ninth inning of the ball game yesterday. Orioles losing at 12-5. He had a couple of hits. And that one will miss yesterday.
Yeah, Marco Estrada comes in relief, and goodbye. Really trying to smooth out the stroke. Get the front foot down, hands get back. Just kind of get more of a rhythm. There's good movement right there. You think it's very hittable. 92-3. We saw Aaron Sanchez get up to 94.
Sanchez with a 2-ball-1-strike count here, and a chopper back to him. He'll wait for his defender to get over to first base, as Smoke did, and one away. Well, you can get in on the baseball action with Masson. Text the word Orioles to 29292 for team alerts and chances to win exclusive prizes all season long, including meet and greets with your favorite players. Again, that's Orioles to 29292 for O's alerts. You can't miss. Here's Cabrera, switch hitter, 1 for 5 in the ball game. Talked about Buck Showalter moving players around positionally. He's also doing that as far as the lineup's concerned. Cabrera was a leadoff batter in the ball game yesterday. Now he's hitting in the number 8 spot for this one. Pitch will be there for a strike. Switch hitter going up against Sanchez. Last year, lefties hit 150 off him. Right-handers hit 116. Again, not a lot of innings. 1-1 delivery on the way right through the wickets. Yo.
Well, the one thing he does, he really gives Buck Showalter. You talked about they haven't tried or at least attempted a stolen bases. Orioles with 44 steals, lowest in the major leagues. Hanging hook right back up the middle, right through the wickets. Boy, he hit that sharply. Yes. This would be a dynamic that he would add to this organization if he gets on. He's got a huge lead.
Big lead.
And he got a running lead. Well, that's what when Brian Roberts first came up. If you're going to be a good base runner and you can read the pitcher and they don't stop you. I mean, I can't imagine he won't be going here again if he gets one of these leads. He's going to creep away.
It's got to be a throw over. Has to be.
No, it wasn't.
Wow. And a pitch taken for a strike. Caleb Joseph 1 for 3 in the ball game yesterday, hitting 9th. Yaz on deck.
Well, there's a way to kind of slow the runner down. Now, you can hold the ball, you can throw over there, you can step off, you can slide step. Usually don't try to do that with young pitchers. Sanchez only 22.
Edging, creeping, edging with that lead, and a ground ball is going to go to short. Reyes, 1, yes, 2, yes. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We've completed 2. Game 2 of our 3-game set for the Orioles up. Roger Bresnahan became a catcher after he pitched for a while. Decided I need something to protect my shins. First one to wear them. 2002, the Orioles pounded the Devil Rays 15 in that ball game, including a club high of 11 hits and 16 at bats during that 6th inning. Bresnahan, outstanding catcher in the Hall of Fame, elected in 1945. You see the numbers that he put up with a .279 career average. John McGraw was his manager here in Baltimore when they turned him into a catcher from a pitcher, and the rest was Hall of Fame stuff.
Well, he was smart putting the shin guards on.
Yes. Fouled off outside of first base.
When I came up to the big leagues when I was 19 in 1965, we had 3 catchers. We had Dick Brown. He was caught most of the time. John Orsino, who was a drummer from New Jersey for Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons, but chose baseball. Big mistake. And then the other thing was Charlie Lau went on to be one of the great hitting instructors. Kind of admire and whatever. But they used to flip coins who would have to warm me up. And you know, back then you'd only wear the mask.
Yeah.
So I'd go to warm up in Cleveland one night, and Charlie's had everything on. He goes, I lost the bet. I lost the flip. And he said, kid, I don't want to embarrass you, but I want to be able to play a few more years. So he put the full equipment on.
Good.
But so Roger was very smart, even back in the early 1900s, of wearing the shin guards. That made a lot of sense to me.
1907, first shin guards worn by a catcher. 1-2 delivery on the way. Jonathan Smoke takes it, and boy, Jimenez is dealing early. That's 3 Ks.
Right on the corner. And you mix up your pitches, and then you make a good pitch. And he's aggressive, not wasting any time. Little two-seamer, runs away. Justin Smoke. And so what? It's not framing anymore. It's pitch presentation. And Caleb Joseph presented it nicely, right on the corner.
1 down. Now Wallace watching with great interest.
Yeah.
Here is Pilar. 4-game hit streak for him. Kevin Pilar, the off-speed delivery, will miss up high. He had a 1 for 5 in the opener yesterday.
Well, how about the catch he made and the throw? He had a nice defensive.
Rob Davis of an extra base hit, maybe a home run. Outside corner fastball at 91 miles an hour.
I thought his comment after he hit the fence running the drive from Chris Davis down, he said, it really didn't bother me till I looked down and I had sprouted a second kneecap. So I figured I better put some ice on it.
Good idea. 1-1 delivery on the way. Hit hard to third. Manny Machado, the scoop and the play. Not that easy.
Well, maybe it is if you're Manny. Well, he kind of snatched it. And then once he does that, watch this right there. Fast feet. Boy, do you have the soft hands. And then the rocket arm.
Runner not even in sight.
The
gets to first.
Short hops aren't always the easiest, but you certainly got to stay below them, and he's able to do that. Made it look pretty routine, didn't he?
Yep. 2 down. And here's Devin Travis. Travis hitting in the number 9 spot for this ball game, playing at second base. Their new second baseman. He had a double and a single in 4 at-bats in the ball game yesterday. They really like his play. And again, one of the young players on this ball club. 2-0 count. Jimenez trying to go through the order. 1 through 9 with nobody getting on. 2-0 delivery. That'll miss outside. And a 3-0 count.
Well, he did that opening day in New York. I mean, he had a couple. He had Daniel Norris, their 21-year-old lefty, won his first major league start. And then this young man not only hit a home run in his first major league game, he also walked twice.
3-ball, 1-strike count on him here. Little breeze picking up, blowing out to left field now. And that is there for a strike as well. Come on back. Travis.
Yeah, he thought it might be low. You're getting a low strike tonight. That'll certainly help Ubaldo if he's able to stay ahead in the count. And that one right around the knees.
And a 3-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be fouled off. Orioles move the outfield, one of those adjustments during the at-bat. As soon as the 2 strikes came, Adam Jones moved about a dozen steps over towards right field. So when he's got the count here at 3-2, there you see Kirby doing the job down there with the outfielders. They give him the left field gap. 3-2 pitch on the way, and that's strike 3. Caught the outside corner. Wow, what a start. Jimenez has 4 strikeouts, retiring the first 9 Jays that he has faced. Orioles 2-0. Clubs playing today. The Red Sox, after that 7-hour plus game last night, ended after 2 o'clock in the morning. Beat the Yankees again today, 8-4. Kelly with a fine outing, a run on 1 hit over 7. And Warren went for the Yankees. Boy, those two teams had very little pitching. The Rays picking up their victory over the Marlins. Archer, a real good performance for the Rays today. Those are games played this afternoon. Here's Alejandro Diaz, let it off with a home run. He is second of the season. The solo shot extends his hit streak now to 4 games. That one way up in the air. Sanchez lost that one.
Yeah, ball 1 and then strike 1, and it sailed out of here. Just dropped the head on. Speed of the bat, there's your average, 77. At about 21 miles per hour, and then you hit it right over the high wall here at Camden Yards. There's a strike. You can I can see what you were talking about as far as ground balls. I mean, when he is throwing that fastball well, he's got a lot of late movement, and it's sinking action. Velocity going up as the game progresses.
2-1 delivery on the way, and that's going to be blooped into center field for a base hit. Diaz hanging tough. He's got a 2 for 2 and another leadoff man on for the Orioles. 2 out of 3 innings. They've both been Diaz leading them off to get on. Tomorrow, bring the family to Oriole Park. Celebrate Kids Opening Day as these Birds and Jays will battle. 135. 7,500 kids, the first of them 14 and under, get the Orioles braided necklaces, and kids get to run the bases after the game. Some will get to go out on the field with a lineup card and be out for the national anthem with the players. So don't miss out tomorrow, Kids Opening Day. Steve Pearce. Pearce will take it down low. Diaz now, as Cabrera did when he was on, getting a very big early lead as the Orioles try and test the move of Sanchez. See what he's got so they can judge whether or not they're going to be able to take off against him or not. 1-0. Runner not going. Pearce will foul it away.
Yeah, he doesn't seem too concerned. And of course, he does have a well-armed catcher behind the plate. Second in the National League was Russell Martin. Only Rene Rivera, who's now catching for the Rays, but he threw out 29. Russell Martin threw out 28. But if you can time him, it'd be interesting to see if the Orioles, even with a home run bat, there's a quick throw, but it was a little bit to the infield side. So
Sanchez got a quick move. He's shown that a couple of times.
Yeah, all you got to do is let him know what you do have, and it'll cut down the lead a little bit.
A little jump step over there. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Pearce, the strikeout victim, his first time up. Runner not going. Pearce will lay to left for a base hit into left field. Pilar. Runner will stop at second base.
Yeah, when you're not, I mean, he's got a couple of curveballs over it. The changeup was well out of the zone, so they're hitting off the fastball. And we saw yesterday Bud Norris, the fastball pitcher, but everything was up. Look where this ball is. And a thigh high, belt high, middle of the plate, right where Steve Pearce likes it. not overswinging. It's a nice crisp line drive. So 2 batters, 2 line drives here in the third.
Keep in mind, Sanchez is making his first major league start. When he worked out of the bullpen, it was almost exclusively with that sinking fastball. Now he's trying to work in the slider and the changeup, which he tried to develop during spring training. And as Jim mentioned earlier, with the starters being hurt, Stroman out, that put him in the starting role where they probably rather would not have had him right now. So he's trying to develop the pitches here in the course of being a starter for the first time.
Yeah, and the one thing, John Gibbons, a former catcher, we're looking at him right here, the skipper of the Jays, he said the one thing that Russell Martin did with Drew Hutchison, who's going to pitch tomorrow, and Daniel Norris, 2 young righty and lefties, mixed up the pitches, but they're a little different. This guy's a power pitcher.
Yep.
So he could pitch totally different last year coming in for an inning. The most he pitched was, what, 3 innings, 2 innings against the Orioles. So now all of a sudden, and then the other factor comes in, you start thinking, there's his pitching coach, Pete Walker. You know, your mind sometimes gets in the way when you're this young.
Davis with a 2-0 count, home run his first time up. Chris will get a base hit into right field against the shift. Diaz is going to make the turn. Bautista will get it back in. Bobby Dickerson will hold the runner as it was cleared in a hurry. 3 singles, 3 hitters, bases loaded, nobody out here in the third inning.
So all on fastballs. So now you got Adam Jones coming up to the mound. You can see again, I mean, nice at bat here, inside middle. You can look for it because of the count. So you got a home run to left on a fastball this time. And that's one of the ways you try to get Chris Davis out, try to get in on his hands. But he's trying to change the swing, get the bat head out in front, able to do it. Now you got the bases loaded.
So sacks full with nobody out. Orioles a chance with a real big inning here in the third.
So what are you going to do? I mean, Pete Walker comes out. You got a veteran catcher. You got a 22-year-old pitcher in his first major league start. And you got a really good fastball hitter who got 4 hits yesterday at the plate. Are you going to throw him curveballs, sliders, and changeups when your strength's your fastball? It'll be interesting to see how they actually, what that meeting was about.
Last year, 4 for 15 with the bases loaded for Adam. That's last year. He drew a walk his first time up. Infield will be a double play depth with nobody out. And Adam goes after the first pitch. Chance for 2. Reyes, Travis, and they get it in a hurry. That ball was stung. Run will score as Diaza will cross. Be no RBI. And there are 2 down. Over to third base goes Pierce. And the Orioles up 3-0.
Yeah, would have liked to have done more, but I like the fact that he's aggressive. It's a fastball. It's up. Hits it hard. Unfortunately, it's right at Reyes. And, of course, their infield defense terrific here. Pretty routine. The Orioles do get that 3rd run.
So the Orioles up 3-0, and that'll bring up Snyder. Snyder hit into a fielder's choice his first time up. Orioles were 3 for 9 with runners in scoring position in the ball game yesterday in the opener. They've been able to come through some key hits in that series against Tampa Bay. Overall 7 for 22 early on the year coming in. 1-0 delivery on the way, off speed pitch. That'll miss up high.
There's a changeup trying to mix him in.
And that's why he can sit on the fastball,
yeah,
right?
He really
because
can.
He's just not confident in the other pitches.
And Travis Snyder has done a great job of doing that. And the other thing that we've seen for Travis is that he'll go to left, he'll go up the middle. Sure, he wants to hit home runs. Everybody does. But he's not trying to hit home runs. He's really kind of hitting the ball like the Jays did yesterday. If you look at yesterday, Gary, as you well know, if you put 13 hits and 5 runs on it, you take your chance over the course of the season. That's what the Orioles did. The problem was the Jays put up 16 hits and 12 runs, and that was the difference.
Infield will shift, playing him to go the other way, and looks like this is going to be an pitch out here, and it is almost too far.
Yeah, intentional walk.
So an intentional walk will be surrendered, and Snyder will be on with Manny Machado coming up. So first and third with 2 outs.
Yeah, they're just looking. I mean, if you go over the last 2 years, Manny both years hit over 300 runners in scoring position, but that's pretty much just looking what he's done this year. Still looking for his first base hit, but just because he's on an 0-4 doesn't mean that he's not a dangerous hitter.
Ideal time for him to get it as he's being challenged here. Machado grounded out his first time up, first and third, and 2 down. Sanchez will miss outside with it. for a ball. Little cut, that slider pitch he's working on. Already bullpen action. Todd Redmond up in the pen. 45 pitches have been thrown by Sanchez, and we're in the 3rd inning. Here's the 1-0 delivery on the way. Machado takes that, and that will miss down low, and the count goes to 2-0.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to see why you might be a little gun shy. Early on, the home runs in the first, both on fastballs. He hasn't, as you mentioned, hasn't established anything else. Yeah, that's understandable. Because he's a power guy. His sinking fastball is his best pitch. It's not sinking tonight.
Fouled off. There's one there.
Yeah.
Get over the top of it. And a 2-ball, 1-strike count.
Well, I've been there, though. When you struggle early and you don't have the experience to be able to slow the game down or relax, you try to throw harder, and for a sinker baller, that doesn't work.
Orioles looking for a 2-out RBI right here. 2-ball, 1-strike count on Manny Machado. And Manny will foul that one away to even the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, pretty good swing right there. When Manny is hitting well, he can hit the ball to the opposite field as well or better than anybody on this ball club. Maybe Chris Davis with more power, but he can hit line drives and ground balls hard into right field. So good pitches sometimes turn out to be base hits because of his approach.
Sanchez, 2-2 delivery on the way, and an off-speed pitch tied him up, and somehow that ball hit the bat. As Manny was not ready for the changeup that he got right there, and it just tipped right straight down. Now Sanchez, while it's his first major league start, he has pitched as a starter in the minors. 93 minor league games, 77 of those as a starter over the past 5 years. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Machado will take it, and the count is full, 3-2. So Snyder will take off from first base. Pierce over there at third. Outfield, deep, straight away. 22 years old. In for the sign, 3-2 delivery. Machado will foul it off. We'll do it again.
Yeah, the Orioles doing a little Blue Jays Rays. Both of those teams over the last 2-3 games are so adept at taking good pitches, and that's what that was, and just fouling them off and then hoping to get a better pitch to hit.
Count still at 3-2. Pretty good battle here. Runner going, ball in the air to center. Going back, Pompey, and settles under it to record the out. Orioles will get a run on 3 hits, no errors. 2 are left on base after 3. The Orioles up 3-0. He's on 6 hits so far. Home runs by Diaz that'll lead it off, and Davis both in the first, and the rest has been Jimenez retiring the first 9 face, second time through. And here is Reyes, top of the order. He grounded out, or rather, grounded out his first time up. Pompey and then Bautista.
Tried to bunt his way on. And
in at third base, Manny Machado. Pitch will be taken.
Well, everything's been down. I mean, very few pitches up in the zone. That's how they got to Bud Norris yesterday and the rest of the Orioles staff.
A 1-2 mark last year against the Jays, 3-3 lifetime for the Orioles starter against this ball club. Here at Camden Yards, he had 12 outings, including 11 starts last year, went 3-6 in this ballpark with an ERA of 5.5. 2-1 delivery. Reyes will take that one inside to gain his attention, and it's 3-1.
Yeah, I was talking to Kevin Cash, who's now managing the Rays, and he was the bullpen coach the last couple of years. So he had Ubaldo Jimenez when he was in Cleveland, when he went 13-9 2 years ago. And
slash to left field, and that's going to be short hop.
Yeah, I don't think he really saw it because he just hesitated enough. Would have been a very difficult play, and then try to come in. And of course, we saw Pilar play a single into a double, but right here, I mean, right there, yeah, you could see him take that half step back. Would have been a tough play anyway. Short hops it, keeps it in front of him with a 3-0 lead, and easily could have gotten by him probably for a triple.
So leadoff man on. There's the first hit for Toronto. Orioles 3 runs on 6 hits. Here is Pompey, a Mississauga, Ontario native, right outside of Toronto. Strikeout victim, his first time up. High set, and then as delivers, and the ball fouled. Pompey's a great story. Toronto Star did a great number on him in spring training. 150 years of baseball, the Star noted. There have only been 35 players from Toronto who have ever donned a uniform, and only 6 of those ever played for the Jays, and none of them were in any way stars. This young man at 22 has got a chance to be the first one to really star for the Jays and come from the area. Swing and a miss. Jimenez getting it in on an 0-2 count.
Well, he can run. He's a terrific center fielder, switch hitter. Never hit a lot of home runs in the minor league, but better average.
And he had to work his way up. He was not scouted or recruited by anybody, college or pro. He played for AAA teams in Canada, and then got selected for the Canadian national team in 2010, and that's where he got noticed. That's where the scouts were watching. They liked what they saw in Pompey and decided to give him an opportunity. He's a kid who grew up as a Jays fan and always wanted to be the starting center fielder for the Jays. He said that back when he was about 10, and here he is. Runner goes, throw down there, and not in time. Reyes still a miss.
Well, 30 out of 32 last year. So you're trying to get back in the game. He gets a base hit, gets a big lead, takes a look, throw a little bit off. So you can see right there, Cabrera has to reach across, and meanwhile, I don't know. He might have come off the bag. Watch him sustain the tag.
Buck is up on the top step waiting to hear from his video replay expert as to whether or not they want to challenge.
We saw that a number of times last year with Jonathan Schoop. See, I think he's out. I think his hands came off. The glove is on his chest. And again, it has to be definitive. And right here, they're going to come out.
Buck's going to come out. Home plate umpire Tim Welke is the crew chief here.
I would be surprised if they don't call him out. And that's the big difference. Or maybe not. They're not going to.
He's not going to challenge. So the decision not to challenge here, and a runner at second base.
On the chest, hands off, and then right there, I guess you figure it's not close enough or not definitive enough to challenge it.
2-ball, 2-strike delivery on the way. Off speed pitch will miss away. Pompey now with a 3-ball, 2-strike count. And Reyes with great speed on there at second base.
Well, Gary, they get to see now for the second time Ubaldo Jimenez. They know the movement, they know the velocity, and that's when you have to maybe even be a little bit better. I don't know if you can be better than retired 9 in a row, but you got to make your pitches.
He's had 4 3-2 counts now, but he has not walked anybody. Got Bautista waiting on deck. Ground ball towards the middle. Cabrera was playing right there. And we'll record the out. Reyes will move over to third base, and there's one away. When you visit Oriole Park this season, few changes in the entry process. MLB policy now. All of the ballpark gates have metal detectors fans have to remove. Keys and mobile phones. Wallets, IDs, loose change you don't need to remove. Gates open 2 hours prior to the first pitch to accommodate maybe a little slower entry. We hope you'll visit Orioles.com/guide to review the new security procedures and gate opening times at Oriole Park. One positive in all of that is that it's 2 hours before game time. You get to come. Here's Bautista going for the downtown area.
Yeah, well, either that. They put 12 runs on the board yesterday, 4 sacrifice flies. They've already had 5 on the season.
They've out-homered opponents so far, or been out-homered this season, 7-3. That is foul back. And they'll go upstairs. These two teams last year, of course, were 1 and 2 in home runs hit, with the Orioles leading the majors and Toronto second in the league.
Well, Bautista had one heck of a year. I mean, over 25 doubles, 35 home runs, over 100 runs scored, over 100 RBIs. Second guy, Carlos Delgado, back I think right around 2000. The only other J to ever do that.
Jimenez gets him to chase way over his head, and that's strikeout number 5.
Yeah, he gets Jose Bautista. I mean, he can walk with the best of them, 104 walks, but very rarely can you get him to chase like this. How do you do it? You get ahead of him.
Just something about Jimenez that Bautista can't get, because he's now 2 for 28 lifetime against him. Jimenez just owns him. 2 down, runner on to third base. Reyes. Encarnacion will take the pitch, and it is in there for a strike.
You get guys like that. When Richie Zisk came over to the American League, I went through one of those streaks, but you're terrified because you know it's going to end. You know that he doesn't see the ball. You make good pitches. It's a combination of both of those things.
0-1 delivery, as they say in the business, though. Had a good run.
Yeah, well, you're
Until
right.
it happens.
But there, look at that, out over the plate. Strike one, and then a good splitter to get to where maybe. And this is another guy with tremendous power, but doesn't strike out much.
Reyes off third, 2 down. And a pitch that'll be up, and he does not chase it. Jimenez has thrown 9 out of 13 first pitch strikes in the ball game. He's retired the leadoff batter in 3 of the 4 innings. Reyes getting on this inning. He's on at third base now. Stolen base, and the ground ball moved him up. Encarnacion 1-2 delivery to him, and that's going to go to short. Cabrera's got it. Long throw. Got him. Little help from the D. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning here at Camden Yards. Fresh local seafood to the great eclectic array of world-class cuisine. Savor Sarasota Restaurant Week is going to be going on June 1 through the 14th, celebrating its 10th year. Visit SavorSarasota.com.
What was that kind of grouper that you talked about in spring training?
Gotta get it. Line caught blackened grouper.
Is it run a special time of the year?
Nope.
Because like cobia, over on the East Coast, with the Gulf Stream 2 miles out, cobia runs March and I think April. And
you can catch a grouper year round out of the Gulf. Pitch will be taken up and in as we go to the bottom half of the fourth inning. 3-6-0 for the Orioles, 0-1-0 for the Jays. Jonathan Schoop grounded out his first time up. Sanchez's pitch is going to be fouled back. We'll be back with you tomorrow for Game 3. Will it be a rubber match game? As Chris Tillman and Drew Hutchison will be starting. Both won their first outings. Round to third and foul will be on the air. The O's extra at 1 o'clock. Ball game at 1:30.
It's a nice little pitching battle. Chris Tillman lights out over the last 2.5 years, and Hutchison 3-1 lifetime with a lot of strikeouts against the Orioles.
Down to third base. Donaldson bobbled. Tries to recover and throws high. Smoke calls it in.
He was throwing for the double error. 23 errors last year, fourth the most in the American League. A lot of people say, well, he's not that bad. He just has a lot of range, so he makes more errors. But that was pretty routine until he didn't catch it. And then if he doesn't have Justin Smoke, a tall guy, trying to heave it very quickly, and it almost gets over his head.
Most of his errors last year were on throwing errors. But that one is going to be on the glove. So the error charge. Orioles get the leadoff man on here in the fourth inning. Schoop on. Here's Cabrera. Cabrera picked up a base hit his first time up. Caleb Joseph will be waiting on deck. Schoop can run. Not a big lead over there. Down to third with the infield drawn in. That's a base hit. Cabrera scooted it right by Donaldson. Playing in was Pilar. He'll hold the runner at second base. Shot right where they weren't on that one.
Impact player when he's healthy. Curveball back up the middle. The first time he hung it, and now fastball away because of his speed, slashes it by Josh Donaldson. That's what bunting does. Boy, if you can steal bases, it causes pitchers to hurry, gets them out of their rhythm. And then the defense always constantly reminded that you can take the extra base or you might drop a bunt down.
Joseph, they play bunt. He shows bunt, charging in from first and third with nobody out. Trying to move him up here. 2 on, an error and a base hit. See if Caleb Joseph stays with the bunt. Donaldson at third, playing that 45-degree angle where he can either play the bunt or cover third base depending on where the bunt goes.
Ideally,
Joseph
you like
smoke charging and gets away all the way to the backstop as Martin came up in a hurry and he didn't have control of the ball.
Yeah, it was. I don't know how they're going to count it, but it's a ball that normally Russell Martin would catch, and now it's close to bouncing.
Wild pitch.
Yeah. Well, anytime it hits the dirt, they're going to call it. So again, he tries to backhand. Yeah, a little tougher player than I thought it was. That would have been a tough. Colt Hines, who we saw yesterday, came in.
Infield is drawn in. A 2-0 count. Nobody out.
Yeah, get something up in the zone.
Third and foul. So Caleb Joseph for the base hit can put a couple of more runs up for the Orioles.
Well, at least, I mean, even if he had a chopper to the right side, you'd get the run in, and then you'd move the runner up. So these are those productive outs. Sacrifice fly. Okay, get yourself a run of any depth.
Joseph 218 last year with runners in scoring position. 2-1 delivery to him. That'll go to right field. That is not deep. Bautista, runner tagging, not going to go anywhere as he'll get the throw back in a hurry. So an unproductive out there for the first out. 1 down.
Yeah, he's looking away. And take a look at the numbers of how the Orioles did last year. So not horrible numbers. Number 5. Of course, the Yankees not a great offensive team, but with runners at third. Then the Jays, the Royals all the way to the World Series, and John Gibbons. Wow.
Sanchez is done in his first major league start. He will last only 3 1/3 innings. And Colt Hines will be coming into the ball game, so the Orioles get the starter out in a hurry. Our AT&T call to the bullpen. AT&T, proud partner of the Baltimore Orioles. AT&T, mobilizing your world. Beginning.
Yeah, a couple of home runs in the first inning. He looks like, at least tonight, from what we saw, did not have a good spring, but good arm. Maybe a little bit better out of the bullpen. We know how good he was last year. So, I mean, again, if Colt Hines, who we saw yesterday give up, a couple of runs, 3 hits in an inning, he can come in and do his job because you're matching up here, even though it's early in the ball game. 3 runs is not that much of a deficit for a good offensive ball club, but again, I'm sure he'll be disappointed in his first major league starts. But the Orioles had some nice at-bats, a couple of home runs by Diaz, who comes to the plate, and Chris Davis.
Infield will be drawn in with only 1 away. Diaz, the home run and a single. He has scored 2 of the 3 runs. Davis the other on his home run. So they'll try and make the play at the plate. Schoop and Cabrera, the base runners, at third and second, respectively.
Now, the scoreboard dictates what John Gibbons feels he has to do. Is you bring him in, kind of not completely in, but halfway in, and you hope that maybe you get a ground ball.
Diaz last year only $138 off left-handers and $277 off the right-handers.
I asked him about that 2 years ago when the White Sox hit 300, and he said last year they platooned him, and then when you do see a lefty, it's real difficult. And then you see guys like Colt Hines that are supposed to be left-handed specialists.
0-1 delivery to him will be outside. 1 ball, 1 strikeout on Diaz. The Orioles trying to extend this 3-0 lead. 7 hits on the board already. And you saw with runners in scoring position getting some chances early in the game after going 3 for 9 in the ball game last night. And a check swing. Did he go? Yes.
That's pretty good breaking ball there.
Todd Tichenor down at third base.
So they know about him. I think he topped out at 89 yesterday. Now there's a good slider. Front side gone. So trying to hold up.
8 years in the minors before he got a chance at the major league level, which is this year. 1-2 delivery on the way, and a swing and a miss. The tag will be put on. Ooh, pretty hard, actually. And Diaz is out of there, and there are 2 down. Well, trying to hold the fort here. I mean, the Orioles got the first 2 on, got them moved up, and they're still there.
Yeah, this is what the lefty specialists could do. And then right now, Pete Walker, their pitching coach, is going to run out. There's the tag.
They've got Pierce coming up. First base is open, but you got Davis following. Do you want a lefty-lefty matchup? Even if it is Chris Davis.
This could be either. I love it. They come out, they go, okay, don't give them anything to get hit.
Unlike the other guys you were giving stuff to hit.
Yeah, right, exactly. I was thinking about we were talking about the Hall of Famer who first got ever wear shin guards. Some nights you want to actually put the full gear on when you're pitching. They can't. I guess they don't allow you to do that, do you? Why do you have the chest protector and the shin guards on when you're out there flinging?
I guess you could wear shin guards as a pitcher, couldn't you? I mean, you wouldn't.
Well, you might. You feel like you need to.
In this day and age, you probably could get it light enough. Pierce will take the pitch outside for a ball. Let's see if they pitch around Steve Pierce here with 2 on, 2 down, and first base open with Chris Davis waiting on deck, or whether they come after him or not. Jumping around out there, Schoop at third base, Cabrera at second. Way outside.
Yeah, this could be a pitch around here, but
now the intentional walk.
There's John Gibbons. Let's take our chances with Chris Davis.
Gibbons has had his pitchers issue 2 intentional walks in this ball game. First one worked out all right in their favor. We'll see whether or not this one does.
Well, it's a gutsy move bringing in Hines, only because it's so early, but again, you have a young starter, first major league start. And now the only thing the degree of difficulty is that you don't have any base open. But you have aggressive hitter. Can he hit lefties? Chris Davis could hit lefties, can hit anybody.
Intentional walk was given to Snyder in the 3rd inning, bringing Manny Machado up, and Machado flied out to end the inning. Now the intentional walk given to Pierce here in the 4th inning, bringing Davis up. Chris has a homer and he has singled. Shift is on, and the pitch will be outside for a ball. Donaldson hustles over to third base after the pitch. Long way down the line was Jonathan Schoop. He can, with a shift on, you see Donaldson so far away. Schoop just trying to draw a little attention here, distract. He's off as far as he can get. Ball hit in the air, deep and foul. He got a lot of it, but got around on it.
And that broke his back because it was a little bit inside. Well, here you go, first time at bat, right in the middle of the plate, second home run of the inning, the 1st inning. It traveled a long distance.
Chris Davis would love to do
well, that might be the only fastball he gets to see. If Hines gets the breaking ball over, you know that he's got a good one from watching the at bat by Alejandro Diaz.
25 home runs against the Jays for Chris Davis in his career. 1-1 delivery on the way, and that's into the shift. It'll be played on a hop. Travis makes the throw, and again the intentional pass decision will work. As the Orioles, no runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and they leave the bases loaded, lead it 3-0. Book your low fare now at Southwest.com and by DraftKings. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com. Enter promo code TRIPLEPLAY for free entry. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer with you here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. The Orioles looking to even up this series and their record 2-2 coming in. Toronto 3-1. Jimenez has been just outstanding. No walks, 5 strikeouts, and the one hit, a single by Reyes in the 4th inning.
Yeah, very efficient pitch-wise. He was over 18 last year. And again, the more you throw, the least amount of innings you pitch.
Donaldson flied out his first time up. Jimenez last year averaged 15 outs per start. Buck Showalter's asking his starters to get to that 18 to 20 mark to cut down on the work on the bullpen. So we'll see whether Waldo Jimenez can get close to that number.
Well, going back, I started that comment about Kevin Cash, who was his bullpen coach, said he's very quiet. So sometimes you don't realize how much he wants to be successful. Very good, very athletic. You know, he talked about the fact that Mickey Callaway was able to get him in a really good rhythm when he was with Cleveland. Went 4-0 with an ERA of a little bit over a run a game or run an inning. And
ground ball to the middle. Cabrera back over behind second base.
He's got an arm.
He makes plays.
Yeah, he really does.
It's the ground ball out.
Quickness to get to the ball, but so what Kevin Cash was saying, he said sometimes, I'll let you go here.
We'll pick you up there. Opening week continues. Oriole Park. Yankees coming in Monday through Wednesday. Good seats still remain. And don't forget, Ollie's Bargain Night, the first one presented by Ollie's Bargain Outlet, is Tuesday. All upper reserves $10 when bought in advance. Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD.
And what Kevin was also alluding to, and I think that when the Orioles got him, he starts out 0-4, 4-year deal, highest ever to a free agent pitcher for the Orioles, $50 million. He goes 0-4. You're not feeling too good about yourself. And it's not the way you wanted to start. But they did simplify his windup. Instead of going over his head, because he's got a lot of stuff going on, they just made it a lot easier. So actually, and then Ramon Martinez comes on, a long-time major league pitcher, and all of a sudden he says stand a little bit taller. There's Dave Wallace, try to simplify stuff. So now all of a sudden he has confidence, more movement, the ability to throw strikes when he struggled to do it last year.
He'll miss outside. Russell Martin at the plate. Martin called out on strikes his first time up, now 9 for 32. Lifetime off Jimenez as they try and figure him out. And Jimenez keeps throwing strikes, and that's the name of the game. The walks, the huge problem Jim talked about at the top.
Whoa.
It's just a little bit behind him, not too far.
Well, that's the breaking ball that slips out of your hand and didn't get on top of it. And Russell Martin's going, well, he almost makes contact, not on purpose. Where do you go?
You see a foul ball on those so many times. It comes right at the bat. Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be squibbed down the first base line and foul.
Well, you could see the approach, and Russell Martin, and we saw it with the Jays yesterday. They did it up in New York. 4-run inning with 5 base hits, no home runs. Yesterday they hit it. If you got it up, they'd hit it to right. They hit it to the opposite field. They got him in with sacrifice flies. Hit him hard, hit him soft.
2-2 delivery, check swing. He went around, didn't hit it. Strikeout, need a throw out and get it. Good play.
Yeah, nice target by Chris Davis. And one thing about Russell Martin, actually stayed in the last 45-foot line, which is where you have to be. He wasn't. Oh, nice splitter right there. They call it right here. Caleb Joseph will pounce on it. Watch him. He's in that 45-foot line. Chris Davis goes to the foul part of the field and gives him a nice target. Easy out.
He had 10 strikeouts in a ball game last year. Jimenez did. That was his high against Minnesota. His career high is 13. He's got 6 strikeouts here. And the off-speed breaking ball is in there for a strike. 2 down, nobody on. Smoke, a strikeout victim. His first time up. Smoke has the 1 for 13 lifetime off Jimenez. And that one just misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jimenez staying in that zone. You see this. Got the shift on here with Jonathan Schoop out there in shallow right field. 1-1 delivery on the way. Pace of the game for him is also really good. I mean, he's pitching. He's getting the ball back and he's throwing, which Dave Wallace, Buck Showalter always talk about with all their starters.
Well, all the pitching coaches tell you that. Get in a rhythm. Starts with strike 1. 44 strikes, 24 balls. You like that ratio.
1-2 delivery on the way.
And just imagine. Well, Mark Burley yesterday, they got him a lot of runs. Won his 200th game. Pleasure to play behind. What about 12 seconds between pitches? Oh, yeah.
2 ball, 2 strike count here on Smoke. Jimenez looking for the third out. Will get it right there. Holy moly. That's 7 strikeouts, 2 here in this inning. And the crowd's going, who is that guy? It's Ubaldo Jimenez. I'm Gary Thorne. Ubaldo Jimenez. Wow.
Boy, he set a tone. I mean, this is the same team. He shut him out for the 5 innings that scored 12 runs and 16 hits, 8 doubles, 8 singles. He goes out 1, 2, 3. You have a 22-year-old talented guy in Aaron Sanchez, first major league start. He gives up 2 home runs, so you get him an early lead. He pitches well. That's what the game's all about. You want to pitch well, you want to do your job, and then you want to make it easy for your guys. You know, he hadn't been walking people. He's done a 360 from what he was able to do early last year.
And the Orioles getting the home runs, Jim, offensively. Talk about how many will they hit this year after leading the majors last year. Early on, at least, they're getting more than their share of home runs.
Well, they are, and they can hit home runs. You know, I guess you could also say that sometimes maybe they try to hit home runs. Two, and they don't, they don't cut the swings down. Todd Redmond, we've seen him 2 years ago, started 14 games last year out of the bullpen. Oh, nice little change-up, curveball, breaking ball pitcher. A lot of innings for the Jays last year, so he can pitch multiple innings, which is what will probably be asked of him tonight.
Adam Jones leading it off. Adams hit into a double play and drawn a walk in the ball game. Hines worked 2/3 of an inning at a strikeout and 1 intentional pass. Sanchez, the starter, gave up 3 runs, 7 hits, and 3 1/3 innings. He had 2 walks, 1 intentional, and 1 strikeout. So the 3rd pitcher on in the ball game for the Jays. Adam Jones on the step out here. Adam is 4 for 10 lifetime off Redmond, and 1 of those hits a home run. 0-2 delivery on the way, and Adam will take that one down low, a bouncer. So the Orioles, first inning home runs by De Aza and Davis, adding an RBI 3rd inning on a double play ground ball that Jones hit into, actually. Those are the 3 runs. Only 1 hit picked up so far for Toronto, the single by Reyes that came in the 4th inning off Jimenez. They got one. He could go after up the ladder and out to left field for a base hit.
Yeah, not your ideal 2-strike pitch. And now you see why he's now 5 for 11. Tries to throw a high 89-mile-per-hour fastball by Adam Jones. That doesn't work too often. He goes right out in the outside corner and just smokes it into left.
Now the Orioles have the leadoff man now 4 out of 5 innings on base. And that will bring Snyder to the plate. Snyder, he drew an intentional pass in the 3rd inning. Is hit into a fielder's choice. He's got a couple of hits in 5 at bats here in the series. Off to a great start. 6 for 14 on the year. Redmond's pitch is fouled off at the plate. Travis Snyder, one of the new Orioles. You see the career with Toronto, Pittsburgh, and now the O's. His average 187 RBIs last year. 264, 13 homers, 38 runs batted in out of Kirkland, Washington. Debuted in 2008.
At a very, very young age for the Blue Jays.
With big expectations.
Yeah, and he said, you know what, I thought I had a lot of the answers, and I didn't. I mean, you talk to him, I find him extremely, I met him probably when he debuted, and now you talk to him a little bit more reflective, a little more introspective, because he knows this could be a humbling game. I'll keep saying this until he adjusts, or until he changes, but I really like his approach at the plate. He's not trying to hit home runs, he's just trying to hit the ball hard.
That pitch will miss. Adam Jones threatening to go over there. He's been almost a third of the way down the last 2 pitches. Wayne Kirby, the first base coach, will give him the time to the plate for Redmond. Adam's just been testing the waters over there. Count is 2 balls, 1 strike. Of course, the lefty up to get that bigger hole between first and second. If he stays there, swing and a miss. 88 up a little bit, and a swinging strike. Well, Redmond's being asked to hold the fort here. As Jim said, it's only 3-0.
Yeah, that's
with the power of this Jays team, they can get that in a hurry. It's up to their staff now to keep this game in place.
Yeah, they have the ability with 1 swing to take care of that.
2 ball, 2 strike count on Snyder with Manny Machado to follow. And there's a little attention.
Yeah. Well, you can see from this angle the huge hole with Justin Smoak holding on Adam Jones, and a little bit harder to do it with 2 strikes. But boy, as a left-handed hitter, you can hit a routine ground ball, and you can get it into right field just by simply able to pull it. Of course, look where the target is. He's trying to run the ball away.
2-2 delivery outside. You saw Eddie Gamboa heading out to the bullpen. There he is. Leslie Wright going on the DL with a left shoulder muscle problem. The greetings literally just getting here. I mean, he was due to land somewhere around 7 o'clock. Obviously, it was a little later than that. And then they had to get him to the ballpark. Hi, I'm Eddie Gamboa. I've never pitched in the majors before. I know you guys from spring training. Nice to see you again. And hi. 3-2, runner goes up high, walked.
He went right by Wesley Wright, who went on the DL. Said, "I'm here to take your place. Thank you very much."
So the Orioles get the extra bullpen help. When the Orioles win, everyone wins. When the Orioles win and score 5 or more runs, you get 50% off regular menu price online orders at papajohns.com by entering promo code Orioles5. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Valid at participating Baltimore area Papa John's. Orioles get 2 more on. Have had runners on in every inning. 2 on, nobody out. Manny Machado is grounded out and flied to center field. Still looking for that first bingo of the season with the 0 for 14. Manny will take a breaking ball. It's going to miss. 4 ball 1.
Yeah, it's another thing. Your advanced scouts, they know Todd Redmond because, like I said, he started against him. They've seen him out of the bullpen. But he's a guy you're going to hit off the fastball until he proves he'll get something else over.
Manny is 0 for 6 off him, and the pitch is going to miss. Yeah. And 2-0, so Manny gets it where he wants it, count-wise.
Yeah, if you're going to try to get Manny Machado out consistently, and I don't mean 14, 15 at bats, it better be inside, because out over the plate, he can hit the ball real hard. And when he's hot, he'll look right outside over the plate, and that ball again a little bit too low.
So Redmond working a 3-0 count here. John Gibbons seen his pitchers throwing a lot of pitches and not particularly effective. Redmond making his first appearance of the season for the Jays. Walker, the pitching coach, bouncing around over there. Pete Walker. Manny with a 3-0. And that will be there for a strike. Didn't give in, kept it down low in the corner.
And see, the luxury of hitting in this count at 3-1 is that he can look for that same pitch. Now he can look for it, and hopefully he'll look out over the plate, or he'll look inside half. And if it's not where you want, or it's a breaking ball, you take it. Hit 3-2.
Jones, Snyder, the base runners, rips it foul.
And there you are. He's looking inside half, and he gets it just a little bit quick.
Bad head out on that one, and a shot 330 down the line, but
yeah, he did not have a hit. The only thing good about Manny Spring is when he was healthy. He did not hit well, even though you watch him in batting practice. Level swing, keeps the hands back, and hit breaking balls. He can use the whole field, but again, just not the first player that off to a little bit of a slow start.
279 lifetime average against these Jays for Manny Machado, and 3 career home runs. 3-2, runners off, first to second, not going. Foul back, there goes the bat. Ooh, that's an Olympic toss. Let's hope nobody's hurt. That was down beyond the dugout, third base side. That was a helicopter release on that one, and they'll get the attendants down there to make sure they're okay.
They drove a grove of.
Yes. Well, you can always tell when they're fine because they're fighting over the bat. That's when you know nobody's hurt.
It was an Olympic toss.
That was a long one. That was 100 feet. So Manny will get some new lumber, and a timeout being asked for by the second base umpire. For some reason, something behind home plate drew the attention, and a paper cup or something will be removed. Tim Timmons saw that one. Baseball had come free there. 3 ball, 2 strike count. Jones off second base, Snyder off first. Todd Redmond with a delivery, and Machado will foul it back again.
Yeah, it's a really tough pitch to make 3-2. I mean, you're struggling with your command. If you throw him a slider, you don't want to be in the middle of play because it speeds up the bat, and he hadn't gotten one over yet. So well, he may throw it. Boy, you can't have a lot of confidence in it.
3-2. One more time. Runners not moving. Ball will be reached for and fouled back.
But he did throw it.
Yep.
And he had Manny out on his front foot.
This bullpen of the Jays, as we mentioned yesterday, is in the state of flux. Still trying to figure out exactly who's going to pitch when in the ball game out of the pen. They struggled last year. They were 12th in ERA in the American League, over 4 as a pen. They've changed their closer already, going to yet another one of the youngsters, and John Gibbons still kind of mixing and matching here, figuring out where he wants people. And today his starter only 3 1/3 innings, so he had to go early. 3-2 delivery, and again it's fouled back.
Yeah, there's another. That one was a hanger. That was the three-run hanging slider home breaking ball at 3-2 count.
So the battle's been joined here. It'll be the 10th pitch of this at bat coming up on this 3-2 count. You see where they've been delivered, all down for the most part. One up. And that one got ripped foul. Jones, Snyder, their leads, the pitch, and he drew a walk. A 10-pitch walk to load the bases. So Redmond in trouble. First 3 on here in the 5th inning. Couple of walks by Sanchez, 1 intentional. Hines an intentional walk. Now 2 by Redmond. Many walks yesterday. The Orioles had only 2 walks in the ball game yesterday, both surrendered by Burley. So the bases are loaded again. The Orioles load them up, and again with nobody out. And Jonathan Schoop has reached on an error and grounded out, stands in. 1 for 12 with the sacks full last year. And that one right off the end of the bat cued. He checks to see if he may have split the bat, and it looks like no.
Yeah, he chases a pitcher's pitch. And that's the one thing, the pressure is on Todd Redmond. And again, Jonathan coming into this year at about 470 major league at bats. So in this count, you got a guy out there. It doesn't mean he's not a good pitcher because he's had some experience, but you hit your pitch, not a pitcher's pitch early in the count. So fortunate that he fouled it off.
0-1 infield double play depth. Pitch inside, riding in, almost out of Martin's glove that time, and a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Schoop has faced Redmond a couple of times, 0 for 2. Veteran right-hander. The Orioles putting base runners on here in this ball game. Every inning they've had at least 1 on. They've left 6 on so far, including the bases loaded in the 4th inning. Now they're loaded again in the 5th. and that one is way back in left field. Can you say grand salami? Jonathan Schoop delivers a grand slam home run off Todd Redmond, and the Orioles 7-0.
In a hurry. Back-to-back sliders. Pitchers pitched the first time, and the next one, 4 quick runs for the Orioles.
Jonathan Schoop continues with the power supply of the O's.
Well, here's the good slider, right at low and away. Fouls it off. Here's a fastball up and in, not even close. Another one, hit me slider, and he does. I mean, drills it into the seats here at Camden Yards to make it 7-0.
2 home runs on the season. And the pitch taken for a strike by Cabrera was already 2 for 2 in the ball game. The Orioles are now 7 runs on 9 hits and 3 home runs in the ball game. 2 off Sanchez and the grand slam off Redmond. That'll be 9-iron foul and a 2-strike count. And Jonathan Schoop, the potential for power the Orioles have always talked about with Schoop. He can do that. That's something that may become much more common as he continues to play. Manny Machado is good buddy over there with him. Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way, and that's up.
Well, how about the bat Manny had to load him up?
Yep, Manny had a 10-pitch walk to get on ahead of him. 2 walks and a single loaded him up. And Schoop took advantage of it. Redmond with the 1-2 and Cabrera. Still nobody out here. And a swing and a miss. There's the first. Take a look at our Jeep inside the numbers. The highest percentage of runs via the home run since 2011.
Well, they're working on it again. Well, there you go. 6 out of 7 tonight. Started in the first inning. A couple of solo home runs, and then so allergic to grand slam home runs, but not as much anymore if the Orioles hit him. Seemed like it was a good pitch till he threw it.
Yeah. And then watch where it landed.
Drilled.
1-0 delivery on the way. So a couple of ball games where the offenses 12-5 Toronto win last night. The Orioles have got a 7-0 lead here a day later. Joseph at the plate. He is hit into a double play, and he is flied out. Redmond's pitch to him will be up high. Big crowd on hand here for the second game of the homestand on this Saturday night, and they've had a lot to cheer about. Count goes to 3-0. Now Hendricks in the bullpen. Liam Hendricks. 3 pitchers already used for Toronto. And the pitch is outside, so Redmond will surrender the 3rd walk of the inning. And Pete Walker will come out while the bullpen continues to warm up.
And meanwhile, Ubaldo Jimenez is saying, bring them on, boys.
Yeah.
You got me 3.66 runs per game last year. I didn't pitch as well as I am capable of. Tonight I've been pitching well, and you've been supporting me well. It's a great formula, even though this game is only in the 5th inning, to head you towards the ultimate goal, which is to win.
Last year against Toronto in his 3 starts, he lost 2-1-1. 8-2 win. The losses were 4-0 and 11-3. And the off-speed delivery is in there for a strike. Alejandro Diaz has already had a 2 for 3 with a home run, a single. He has scored 2 runs in the ball game. 0-1. And that ball off the fists a bit to shallow left field. Reyes going back. Pilar coming on. Kevin Pilar dropped it. He's got a force out at second base. Gets it there on a hop, and nothing that Caleb Joseph could have done about that. That ball was in the glove, was going to be caught. So he was playing it halfway.
Oh, great plays yesterday, and he just muffs it. Off the outside of the glove, and then right into the, not enough into the pocket. You can see how big the glove that Pilar uses, and most outfielders are like cestas. Usually when they're in them, they stay there.
Yes. Here is Steve Pearce, 8th batter to hit for the Orioles. Rainmaker. Pilar hearing it from the crowd here. Drop it. Not this time. So Pearce is retired, but the Orioles have now come up with 3 home runs in this ball game, 9 on the season. The grand slam by Jonathan Schoop put 4 more on the board and a 7-0 lead.
Ahead on a 1-0 fastball. Orioles 1-0. Chris Davis down with his first home run 2015, makes it 2-0. Evaldo Jimenez trying to get off to a good start. Boy, he has 7 strikeouts through the first 5 innings. And then all of a sudden the Orioles add another 4 on one swing. Jonathan Schoop, first career grand slam, home runs now in the last 2 games. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
Liaza, Schoop, Davis. 1-0 delivery on the way and a strike on the outside corner. Kevin Pilar not happy with the call. Travis will follow, then Reyes at the top of the order. 1 hit, a single by Reyes that came in the 4th inning. Jimenez, that's all he's given up. That's been the only base runner. He has walked none and struck out 7, and that'll be fouled away off the 82-mile-an-hour pitch, and the count will go to 1-2.
Yeah, I mean, even that 4th inning, Gary, you had the base hit to lead it off, the stolen base, and then you had the big strikeout of Batista with a runner at 3rd. And they're trying to get back in the game. It's 3-0 at that time.
Ground ball towards the middle. Cabrera, can he do it? 180. Oh, yeah! Wow. Mercy. He has played a shortstop here in this game.
And he made it pretty routine. The Orioles are used to this. J.J. Hardy on the DL with a left shoulder injury. But again, 3 straight gold gloves. Well, here's a gold glove play.
Cabrera, impressive here. That's the 3rd time he's gone over there behind second base tonight to make a play. That's the toughest one. J.J. Hardy going.
Better get back.
Feel better already.
Oh, yeah, that shoulder kind of loosening up.
Here's Travis. Travis hitting 9th, called out on strikes his first time up. 2 for 5 in the 2 games so far. Breaking ball he was going to turn away from, came back in but missed. Jimenez with some help from his D. here in this ball game.
And we talked about he's throwing enough strikes and being aggressive enough that you are playing on your toes. So we've seen 87, we've seen 89, we've seen movement. We've seen, for most part, look at the pitch count, only the 4th inning, and that's the one where Reyes got on early, stole the base, and he was still able to get out of the inning unscathed. The pitch count where you want him to be. So it allows you to. Meanwhile, you're pitching shutout baseball, and your team is scoring runs. Formula to win.
1-2 delivery on the way. That will come inside. The Orioles, of course, last night having to go into their bullpen a little deeper than they wanted. So, Dave Wallace really hoping Jimenez would have a good deep start in this game, and so far so good. That one's going to miss, and the count will go full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 down. Travis with Reyes waiting on deck. Jimenez, full count delivery on the way, and a foul ball. 5-3-2 counts in the game. Last year when we were saying that, it probably would have been 4 walks by now.
Right, and he wouldn't have had the run support. I mean, the only number that jumped out when I looked at today was almost really closer to 6 walks per 9 innings. About 2 more than he's used to.
3-2. Manny Machado has to make the play. What a cannon.
Well, there's not a pitcher on this staff that won't tell you this is one of the reasons you throw strikes when you pitch for the Orioles. This kind of defense. I had it when I played. I had Brooks Robinson with 16 Gold Gloves, and Belanger and Davey Johnson and Boog and Blair and all those kind of guys. Orioles have that type of defense.
So a couple of great plays here on that left side by Cabrera and Machado, and there are 2 down. Top of the order, Reyes, the base hit, 4th inning, had a stolen base, ended up at 2nd. The only base runner that the Jays have had in this ball game. He's got a 4-game hit streak with a single that he picked up. Jimenez will miss down low with it. Reyes now with 7 hits in 26 at bats, lifetime off the Baldo.
Yeah, you would imagine 7 runs down he would be taking here.
And the 2-0 is taken for a strike.
Not a real traditional move in this day and age, but that's what you're supposed to do. Make him throw a strike, and he did.
Need base runners.
Yeah.
Jimenez with a 2-1 pitch to him. Reyes will stand up a little bit on that one. Reyes has hit safely now in the last 9 games against the Orioles, going back to last year, and he draws the first walk. Surrendered. That comes with 2 down here in the 6th inning, only their 2nd base runner. Our PNC minor league report takes a look at Nolan Reimold.
Well, he's healthy. He's going to play well. We saw that in spring training, and well, that's good news. Good news for him. Good news for the Orioles. You have a guy down there that certainly capable of helping you over the course of a season.
Runner on at first base, 2 down. Here's Pompey. He is struck out, grounded out. Ground ball, second base. For Hopper. Jonathan Schoop gets it just in time to record the out. So 1 left on. Still only 1 hit on the board. Our Mazda do-ups will be Davis, Jones, and Snyder when we come back. Ocean City, Maryland. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at ococean.com. And by visitannapolis.org. Find the Chesapeake experience at visitannapolis.org. With Jim Palmer, I'm Gary Thorne, the beautiful warehouse here at Camden Yards. 7-0 lead. The Orioles over the Jays. Jimenez, Dave Wallace. Are you okay? Want to stay? Yes.
Look at the scoreboard. Things indicate that he's okay. Better than okay.
Orioles had the bullpen moving a little bit down there, but looks like he's going to stay in. Chris Davis. Chris will take the pitch from Todd Redmond. Davis with a home run and a single, 2 for 3. First homer came in the first inning. It's a good reason to stay in right there.
Well, 87 pitches. Most pitchers will tell you I can comfortably throw 100.
Ooh, got him. So Davis gets hit up on the shoulder.
Yeah, he's got the protective thing just turned into it. That's the way you want to if you're going to get hit on a pitch inside. Turn away. Takes away the inside corner. There you go. He's got the armament on, that front shoulder, ready to hit, and then just turns, takes the wrists and the fingers and the hands out of harm's way.
So the Orioles have had the leadoff man on all but 1 inning. And now Adam Jones. Jones walk it into a double play, a single and a run scored. Chris Davis on at first base. Jones goes after it with a mighty cut and fouls it back 0-1.
So 5 for 11 and trying to make it 6 for 12 with a long ball.
Corkscrew swing right there. He really went around. Redmond, third pitcher used. They'll keep their bullpen active. 0-1 count on Adam Jones. And that one's in the dirt. Good scoop made by Martin to hold the runner on at first base. For Adam Jones, the 4 for 10 with a home run lifetime off Redmond coming into the game. Adam getting back to his home ballpark. He has always fared well offensively. 1-1 delivery to him. It's fun to watch. It's foul, but hey, way upstairs. Talk about getting around to the pitch.
Well, I still remember the ball that Davey Johnson, when he was playing second base for us, before he became a manager, he hit foul out of Yankee Stadium. Now that's
a long way.
Yeah.
Was a long way. Adam, a .293 lifetime hitter here at Camden Yards. Reaches. It'll go to short. Reyes. Travis. No. They'll get the force out. Can't turn the 2 though. Davis taken out at second base.
Yeah, he gets down there quickly. Well, Reyes comes in, gets the ball quickly. That's the way you're going to turn a ball that's hit pretty slowly. We see Devin Travis. See if he gets out of harm's way. Had trouble doing it yesterday. There's the hard slide. Able to this today. Watch him clear the runner. Good habit to get into if you're a second baseman. And then the speed of Adam Jones. No such thing as routine with Adam running.
So Adam Jones will take first base. He threatened to steal when he was on earlier in the ball game.
Yeah, I don't think they're going anywhere 7-0.
Nope. No reason. Yeah. No reason for the base. No reason to get hurt. Snyder, a walk scored in the 5th inning ahead of the grand slam by Jonathan Schoop. He's drawn a couple of walks, one intentional, hit into a fielder's choice, DHing in the ball game.
I think only if you played behind him would you would think about taking it.
Tommy Hunter in the bullpen now. Snyder's new ballpark here at Camden Yards. Hadn't had a lot of chances in it. Had 15 at bats coming into the year. A couple of hits here at Camden Yards in the few games he played here. Here's the 0-2 delivery to him. Went upstairs after that one. And didn't even come close on it. And then there are 2 down. It'll be the second strikeout for Redmond in the ball game. 2 down, 1 on. Manny Machado threw the walk ahead of the Schoop home run. He's 0 for 2. 0 for 14 on the year.
Unless you hit it to him, and then he's having a terrific night fielding at third base.
Jones short lead over there at first base. And Redmond's delivery is swung on and missed. On deck, the grand slam man, Jonathan Schoop. The 0-1 delivery to him. That one will be up high. Sorry, Eddie Gamboa coming up in the bullpen for the Orioles with Wright going on the DL with the left shoulder. Lowe is ready to play again. David Lowe is going to go down to Frederick, play at least one game, probably two. He was here at the ballpark tonight. Took some BP early, and the Orioles held him here for a while just in case Gamboa didn't make it, and they had to make a different roster change. But they want Lowe to get some real game time in before thinking about coming back onto the 25-man roster. 1 ball, 2 strike count, and that one looped foul. Well, things tend to take care of themselves many times when it comes to the roster. The Orioles, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Do you bring Lowe, put him back on? You got J.J. Hardy getting ready to come back on. You got Matt Wieters probably back in May now. Wieters is taking BP. He's going to catch BP tomorrow and continue to take some swings. So then what do you do when he comes back? If everything stays as it is, which it probably won't, there could be some tough roster decisions.
Well, yeah, I still look at it. David Lowe, he comes in with what, a year and 169 days. So I have to imagine he has options. Maybe I'm wrong there. So if he has options, you have options, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
And we've seen the Orioles use that to their advantage.
1-2 count, runner off first base. Foul back.
So Manny hanging in there and hoping to get something he can hit.
Redmond's thrown a lot of pitches coming on in relief. Hines only worked 2/3 of an inning, and Sanchez 3 1/3, the starter. The Orioles getting to Sanchez with those 3 runs on 7 hits in the first 3 1/3 innings. 2 home runs first inning, Diaz and Davis. 1-2. Adam Jones waiting to be moved around over there at first base. Delivery on the way, and that's going to be outside. So he works the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And so the word is that David Lowe does not have any options. So if they would send him out, he would have to go through waivers.
And the 2-2 delivery, and off the end of the bat, popped up shallow right center. Travis back, and will make the play. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. We've completed 6 here at Camden Yards, and the Orioles behind Jimenez and homers lead at 7-0.
12 runs, 16 hits for the Jays yesterday. Totally different story. Great pitches, only the 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Meanwhile, of course, the Orioles have supported him well. 3 home runs, 7 runs. Going into the 7th inning, 7-0 lead. So T-Mobile game changer. Here he is right there. Those are some pretty glowing numbers.
Great numbers. And he works here in the 7th inning. Bautista. Then Encarnacion and Donaldson do up. Strike taken. Bautista with an 0 for 2. He has struck out, grounded out. What a difference the old day makes, as the song said. Toronto hitters last night getting some 6 plate appearances. This is the 3rd for Bautista, and he's gone. One away here in the 7th inning. Play made by Pierce in right field. Encarnacion's got an 0 for 2. He has grounded out to short twice. Tomorrow the Orioles look like they'll have a rubber match game if it stays like this, with Chris Tillman against Drew Hutchison. 1 o'clock for Rose Extra and 1:30 for the ball game tomorrow. Gibbons Ball Club 3-1. Buck Showalter's team looking to go 3-2 with a victory here in this one. Toronto would be 3-2. And the pitch taken on a bouncer.
Going to be a great AL East race this year. Red Sox have to be elated over Joe Kelly, who missed a lot of time with a bicep injury, pitching a 1-hitter for 7 innings.
Pitch will be taken for a strike. How long will it take for the Yankees to recover from last night? That's one of those ball games where it has a lingering effect, mentally and otherwise. Come back and lose again today 8-4 after the 19-inning game last night that they had won 3 times and still lost it. Manny Machado's got it, makes the play, and that'll be the 2nd out of the inning. Junior Orioles Dugout Club is back this season. You still have time to take advantage of Birdland's best value in family entertainment. Kids 14 and under get tickets to 10 games, an exclusive club hat, membership card, sports bag, and more, and it's only $30. Members even get exclusive giveaway items. Family and friends get tickets starting as low as $6 with a chance to upgrade to the lower deck. Go to Orioles.com/dugout club for info. Here's Donaldson. He'll take the off-speed delivery for a strike. Jimenez retired the first 9 batters that he faced. Then Reyes picked up a single. Went on from there and retired the next 8 batters that he faced before a walk to Reyes. And now he's retired the last 3.
Well, we talked about it yesterday. Location and movement, and maybe velocity down the list that Greg Maddux talked about. I think most pitchers could tell you that tonight. Real good location and really good movement, late movement. And the ball is diving and darting, and then he can, because he's been ahead of a lot of the hitters, he could look 95 pitches. He's been able to use the splitter on occasion. I would say 59% fastballs coming in. I bet he's been close to 70 tonight.
1 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way, and that is there for a strike. And he just continues. Fans are going to give him a great hand as he comes off here. Donaldson, a strikeout victim. 7th inning stretch time, and the Orioles lead at 7-0. for the Detroit Tigers. They have won 5 straight games to start the season. In the first 4, they outscored opponents 30-5, only the 3rd team in Major League history to score at least 30 runs in their first 4 games and give up 5 or fewer. Chicago White Sox had 4 straight losses to start the season. They beat the Twins today, but in dropping their record to 0-4 to begin the season, over the last 24 years, only 4 other American League teams have lost the first 4 games of a year while scoring 7 or fewer runs. And the Cincinnati Reds won their first 4 games of the season. They would lose today to the Cardinals. In winning their first 4, they did it in every one of those 4 in their final at bat. The only other Major League team to do that ever was the Tigers back in 1901 to win the first 4 games of the year in their last at bat. Elias Sports Bureau notes. And here we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. He has a smile like that for a while. Valdo Jimenez and the skipper and the rest of the pitching staff as he'll be coming out of there.
Liam Hendricks, we saw him yesterday, came in, pitched a scoreless inning, threw the ball well. And of course the Tigers get off to that great start. Steve Tollefson comes in. Looks like he's going to play shortstop, but Kansas City right with him.
So Tollefson in for Reyes.
Royals are going. Maybe last year was no fluke. They started out 4-0 playing the Angels tonight.
Ball will be fouled away. Jonathan Schoop, our drive of the game, brought to you by Lexus of Towson.
Is it ever? Grand salami. 4 runs, 1 swing. 3-0 becomes 7-0.
Lexus of Towson, the area's #1 volume Lexus dealer, 5 years running. See why at LexusofTowson.com. Jonathan Schoop will take the pitch away as Hendricks becomes the 4th pitcher used in the ball game. It'll be Schoop, Cabrera, and Joseph due up for the Orioles. 1 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way. Down goes to 2-2. Big night for the Orioles. 7 runs, 9 hits. Jays no runs, 1 base hit. 2-2 pitch, and that's up high. Hendricks getting work early on here in the year. Worked an inning, gave up just 1 hit in the ball game yesterday. Here's the 3-2 delivery on the way, and the big cut will be foul tip for a strikeout.
Yeah, he threw the ball really well. I mean, you know, we saw him early on. He was up with the Twins last year. Chris went back to AAA, ends up being 12-2 in AAA. Throws this fastball right by Jonathan Schoop.
1 down here in the bottom half of the 7th inning.
I think he paid attention. The grand slam coming on a hanging slider.
Cabrera takes it. He's had 2 hits, 2 for 3 in the ball game. Cabrera moving from the top leadoff spot down to the number 8 spot, and he'll whip that one foul.
But the defense has been superlative. I mean, he's been all over the infield, as just the general defense tonight. Not a lot of balls hit hard, but balls up the middle he made look easy. Balls to his right in the hole. Toughest play for shortstops. Able to corral him, and strong throwing him
all the way to the backstop. Had a great conversation with Everett Cabrera down in Tampa. He's from Nicaragua. Grew up, as many of the youngsters there do, very poor. Got into baseball at the age of 14 just because his friends were playing a little and they said scouts were coming. And he's now talking about, and I hope he really follows through, he would like to do an academy. They don't have one in Nicaragua. I told him the RBI program out in California run by Major League Baseball would be a great one to emulate. It'd be a wonderful thing if he could do that, and I think he's really interested in doing that for his home country, you know, sooner than later. I wish him well in that. It'd be nice. 2 down, 2 away here in the 7th inning. Joseph coming up. He is hit into a double play, drawn a walk, and flied out. Redmond worked a couple of innings. He gave up the 4 runs on the grand slam. 4 runs, 2 hits, 3 walks. Killers. and a couple of strikeouts. All three of those walks, big ones. Follow the Orioles all season long. MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At bat up to the moment, any moment. Game highlights, live look-in, stats. MLB.com at bat, smartphone or tablet. Caleb Joseph into the screen, 2 strikeout. Hunter getting ready to come into the ball game. Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way, and that's there for a strike. So Hendricks gets a couple of strikeouts, retires the side in order, and the Orioles for the first time in the game have an inning without a base runner. 7-0 O's. Orioles action. Chris Tillman on the mound against Drew Hutchison. It is the series finale. Our coverage on MASN at 1 o'clock goes extra, presented by Southwest, followed by our game coverage at 1:30. All the access you need right here on MASN.
Alvaro Jimenez, a marvelous performance, a couple of base runners. Meanwhile, the Orioles give them a 7-0 lead. They're very efficient, a lot of strikes versus balls tonight. This is what they kind of hoped they would get last year, but again, fresh start tonight takes advantage of it. Now it's time for our little relief for your car too. Visit Jiffy Lube for regular oil changes and help prevent damage and wear to your engine. Jiffy Lube, drive it in today. Tommy Hunter comes on for the Orioles. You can see 2/3 of an inning, a hit and a strikeout. Really good year for the Orioles. Terrific setup man that can pitch anywhere from 95 to maybe 99 miles per hour. Throws a lot of strikes.
So Tommy works with the 7-0 lead. Russell Martin, Smoke, and then Pilar due up here in the 8th inning. And got him, and Martin will kind of turn around, and Tim Welke, the crew chief, home plate umpire, will go out just in case. In the middle, we've had a hit batter before, as the Orioles, Chris Davis was hit earlier.
And I think that Russell probably has that in the back of his mind.
As long as that's where it stays, we're okay.
Well, they are looking for base runners.
Yeah. And Davis down there first base, Martin kind of smiling. There are the two who've been hit, standing side by side. Here is Smoke, and he tried to and didn't. Popped it up behind the mound. Cabrera, who had moved over on the shift, will put it away. Smoke's retired on a pitch, 1 down. And Martin goes back to first base. About the crowd tonight, 38,897. 38,897 for game 2. Generally, you expect quite a drop off in game 2 after opening day. 45, almost 46,000 yesterday. No drop off for this ball game, and they've seen a good one for the Orioles. And the ball will be fouled back by Pilar. He's 0 for 2. Denied a hit on a very fine play by Cabrera on a ground ball his last time up. There is Cabrera, who's had 3 real fine plays out there at short, moving over behind second base. The best one being against Pilar in the 6th inning. Tommy Hunter's delivery to him, and another ground ball that'll go to third this time. Manny Machado's got it and got the out.
Yeah, he timed it perfectly. Little chop step, make sure that he catches it, and then if you're Chris Davis, you're going to start wearing a sponge. That's what catchers wear when they bruise your hand. And there's a little step right there. Get your timing down, and then
that hurts.
Yeah, Chris Davis. We know he can do it all. Can pitch. Probably could catch. We really needed him.
Oh yeah. Runner on at second base, or 2 down. Toronto's 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position in the game. They've only had one other runner to second back in the 4th inning. And the pitch is there for a strike. Travis grounded out and has been called out on strikes. Devin Travis, another one of the youngsters, 24 years old. Only his 4th pro season. And never played a game in the majors prior to this year. Earns the second base job. Swing and a miss, Hunter.
Good slider. Great numbers in the minor leagues. I asked Evan, because he lives kind of across the intercoastal. Grew up in West Palm, now lives in Wellington, which is the equestrian capital of the area. I said, you don't ride, do you? He said, oh no. A lot of horses where I live, though. But I said, you play other sports? He goes, no. Football not big enough.
Tommy Hunter got him on the strikeout. No runs, no hits, no errors. Base runner left on, bottom of the 8th coming.
And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Baltimore Orioles.
Beautiful evening here at Camden Yards. Danny Valencia, former Oriole, will come on to take Bautista's place in right field. And for the O's, an impressive performance. Schoop, Manny Machado, outstanding defense. Ubaldo Jimenez will be much talked about after this game. There will be plenty of reporters around his locker after the ball game, and a complete turnaround from what we saw from the right-hander.
Well, to his credit, there were 6 starters vying for the 5 openings, and he did not pitch well the first 2 times, and they completely turned it around.
Yep.
I mean, spring training, you said the numbers don't always tell you something, but boy, he changed the windup, changed his approach, changed his ability to throw strikes. Oh, do you have 2 or 3 walks all spring? Totally different guy from last year. He showed tonight.
Alejandro De Aza will take the pitch away. Liam Hendricks stays on, retired the side in order. In the 7th inning, De Aza a home run, a single. He's 2 for 4 in the ball game. 4-game hit streak for him. Off to a great start on the season with the 6 hits in 17 at bats. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Zach Britton in the bullpen for some work here. This is not obviously any save situation. The 1-2 delivery on the way, and he will fight it off foul. Well, the Orioles will have a chance. They took the series 2-1 in Tampa. It looks like they'll have a chance to do the same thing against Toronto with a ball game tomorrow. And the Yankees will be coming in Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday before the Orioles hit the road. 1-2 pitch on the way, reached and fouled it back.
Yeah, well, we talked about it down in Tampa. The Nats won the most series, I think 33, Royals 32. Orioles right behind them last season. Keep winning series, got to be pretty pleased.
Oh. 1-2 delivery, that's how you win. Foul back into the screen.
Of course, it won't be easy. Drew Hutchison, the only American League pitcher to beat the Orioles in the American League East 3 times last year. 4-1 lifetime. Of course, Tillman pitches very well. 4-6 against the Jays lifetime. But are those recent numbers? I kind of looked at what he does now, and so you're going to have 2 really good right-handed pitchers facing off against teams that can score some runs. Pretty good challenge for both of those guys.
The number 1 starters for each of the ball clubs. 1-2 delivery on the way, and again that one is going to be fought back. We've seen De Aza do this so many times into last year and the beginning of this season, just fouling off pitches, creating long at bats.
Well, look where he chokes up. He's one of the few guys that does it.
1-2 delivery again, and this time he'll be out of there if the throw is made, and it is. So a strikeout, assist going to the catcher, and 1 away in the 8th.
Well, if you're John Gibbons and you're managing this Jays team, Henrik's now for 2 days in a row throwing the ball as well as anybody in their bullpen. Good breaking ball, good fastball, good command. And then again, the ability to throw that breaking ball with 2 strikes under the zone, knowing that his catcher is going to keep it in front of him.
1 down. Here's Pierce, a base hit, intentional walk. He struck out, flied up, and will fly out again. Valencia. 2 down. And Chris Tillman last year went 1-3 against Toronto with that 4.73 earned run average. He had 4 starts against the Jays last year. 2 away, nobody on. That'll bring up Davis. Davis, the home run, a single, hit by a pitch, and he is grounded out. 2 down, bases empty, so we can think long ball here. Shift on against him, and the pitch will be up and in for a ball. Two-0 count, stayed away and down low.
I'll tell you, Russell Martin behind the plate, I mean, he gets the ball back in a hurry.
He's trying to save time in games. 2-0 pitch, big uppercut, foul back.
Yeah, there you go. Well, they got him because, 5 years? Pretty long contract at age 32, but they wanted to upgrade a lot of positions, and they did behind the plate for sure. Donaldson at third.
2-1 fouled off. 2 ball, 2 strike count on Chris Davis. Orioles on top 7-0. The 2 runs in the first inning, enough to put them up, and so far to stay. They got 4 in the 5th. They've had base runners on all night and got him looking. Davis didn't think so. So Chris retired. That's 4 strikeouts for Hendricks over a couple of innings, and it will be Britton coming on to pitch in the 9th. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by PNC for the achiever in you. Barry Thorne, Jim Palmer, and 38,000 plus. Here at Camden Yards on this beautiful Saturday night, the Orioles closer.
Well, Zach Britton, 2 appearances down in Tampa, 1 a non-save situation. Orioles won both of the games he was in. Then he came in and 6-5 ball game. Faced 3, went 3-2 in all of them, but did what he usually does, either strikes him out or gets the ground ball. 37 out of 41 attempts closing. So this will not obviously be a save, but just a little tune-up in case he's needed tomorrow.
Steve Tollefson will get his first at bat. He's in the leadoff spot where Reyes was. That'll be by Manny Machado into left field. That ball was stung. Diaz going over to get it. Tollefson will end up going to second base, and he's got a leadoff double here in the 9th inning. Came up ready to swing.
Yeah, well, he's on this team, and again, he hits a BB. They're playing a little bit off the line because usually the ball sinks. Again, Zach Britton hasn't pitched since Tuesday. That's why he's out there to get the work. And of course, Tollefson's on this ball club because, as he did last year, he hits left-handers.
So Tollefson gets the double. The second hit for the Jays. Single by Reyes in the 4th inning. Off Jimenez, the only other one. Here's Pompey for a strike. Jimenez, no runs, 1 hit over 7 with a walk and 8 strikeouts. Hunter an inning and a strikeout. Pompey 0 for 3, 2 for 9 in the series. As the Jays trying to avoid at least a shutout here. They were shut out 11 times all of last year. Strike taken.
Yeah, he had a pretty good swing. We saw him hit primarily left-handed. Dalton Pompey, a switch hitter, and then just got one on the end of the bat. Hit the warning track off of Wesley Wright yesterday afternoon.
Orioles as a ball club last year had 13 shutouts to their credit. Pitch will be down low. Pompey only had 14 at bats against left-handers last year, only 25 against righties. This year it'll be all turned around as he is on his way on a regular basis. Showalter and J.J. Hardy. Runner, big lead off second base. 1-2 delivery by Zach Britton will be fouled off Souvenir.
And Zach doesn't like to give up runs. Doesn't really matter what the scoreboard says. Good pitchers are like they're allergic to earn runs.
There's Jimenez waiting to celebrate a W. Zach last season 5 for 5 in save opportunities against Toronto, and he had a win. Again, this is not a save situation with the Orioles leading 7-0.
And ideally, what Buck Showalter and Zach would like to see is the pitch count not getting to where it was.
That hit him. Nope, was a swing and a strikeout. Throw made.
And it'll probably go as a wild pitch because it bounced. And then meanwhile, Steve Tollefson moves up to third base with only 1 out. Really good breaking ball. Almost looked like it hit his back foot.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But you see the home plate umpire signaling strike 3, Tim Welke.
And then Dalton Pompey not dancing around. Might have hit some kind of divot just behind his back foot.
So 1 down, runner at third base.
If you go back to, if you watch the Tampa series, there was actually a strikeout and a ball that got by him.
Buck's coming out. Yeah. There have been no challenges in this game by either manager.
But take a look.
I think Buck's asking home plate umpire Tim Welke maybe to get a little help here and ask the other umpires, do you think he got hit?
Or maybe he got interfered on.
Hit him right on his toe, didn't it?
Well, you wouldn't be out. I mean, if John Gibbons doesn't come out, why would you be coming out when you got yourself an out?
You're going to move the runner back to second base. Now John Gibbons is going to come out.
Well, I don't understand. Maybe we'll find out what this is about, but unless it was interference with Pompey on the swing, interfering with Caleb Joseph, you struck out, the ball went in the dirt. The runner gets to advance at his own risk, doesn't he? So there's the swing.
I guess the rule is he swung and then was hit. Ball's dead. Runner can't advance.
Oh, that's right. They can call you out on a swing.
Yes.
Yeah. So there you go.
So that puts the runner back to second base.
I'm glad somebody knows the rules. Thank you.
Won't happen again. Pitch is taken for a strike. Danny Valencia getting his first at bat of the ball game. Oh, 1 count, 1 down. Dollison at second, and there's one that goes off the plate. That's going to be tough. Manning. Oh, he got him! Oh, mercy!
Well,
Manny Machado with another play at third you won't believe.
And then Gibbons already out of the dugout. You don't even have to leave the dugout to make the call.
He's laughing with the Cabrera on that one. I didn't think there was any way he had a chance.
Well, the Baltimore job. I mean, right here. Timing, bare hands.
Oh, he had him.
Yeah.
He had him.
He's out.
He had him by half step. That's unbelievable. Pull it off, put it back.
And of course, Manny's doing that, and not to show him up because I'm sure they're on him.
Yeah, they are.
They're yelling at him. What a play.
2 down, runner on at third base. Britton trying to finish it off, pitch up high. Oriole fans and baseball in general going to have a great time watching Manny Machado play Major League Baseball for a long time to come, hopefully without any injuries. Here's the 1-0 delivery on the way and a swing and a miss. 2 down, 9th inning. Orioles up 7-0. Trying to complete a shutout. Jimenez would get the victory with a no runs, 1 hit over 7. Trying to combine the shutout. Jimenez, Hunter, and Britton. Great defense. Grand slam Schoop. Big blow in the ball game. 1-1 delivery is going to be outside.
Well, Ubaldo, he sets the tone by getting them out 1-2-3 after they scored 12 runs and 16 hits, and then the Orioles hit 2 solo home runs off of Aaron Sanchez in his first major league start. Kind of set the tone for tonight's game.
Sure did. Here's the 2-1 delivery by Britton. Ground ball. That'll go to Cabrera. He can't get it. It'll be a base hit and an RBI. So they will not get the shutout.
And a couple of hits, double, and then the single. You can see Cabrera trying to catch it, but also get the footwork down. I mean, it's going to be a tough play.
So a run in and a 7-1 ball game. Third base hit. 2 of them coming in this inning for the Jays in the game. Donaldson's got an 0 for 3 in this one. A couple of hits, 6 at bats in the first 2. And he will take the fastball in there for a strike. For Josh Donaldson last year, 275 off lefties, 248 off right-handers. Zach Britton, the 0-1 delivery. But Showalter would like this to end right now for the reason Jim talked about. Enough pitches have been thrown by his closer here in this ball game. 14. Let's get this done with about no more than 16.
Yeah, last year about 13 pitches per inning. Very low because of the ground ball ratio. Donaldson with a walk-off home run in Oakland against Zach.
Here's the roller. Got to be covered. Britton going. Here's the flip. Ball game over. So the Orioles come away with a 7-1 win.